I'm gonna be honest with everyone. I've been on Tinder. These people who have like all of these amazing characteristics, like they're funny, they're smart, who are also like dimes who apparently just like can't find a man. That just like smells way too fishy to me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't sound right.
Welcome everybody to the College Bubble Podcast. You got your host Tony here, Nick at the moderator seat, and we got a very special guest here. His name, Ethan Kim.
Hello. This is episode 2, so I guess I'm second best. Thanks for having me. Maybe this will be good enough. It's going to be your debut.
Kendrick, you'll always be first in my heart.
Nick, I think you got some really interesting questions to ask Ethan here. Yeah. Or should we call him Kendrick?
My native name. Go back far enough.
It do be like that sometimes. So we know Hyunjik throw it back from high school. I only knew him really for 1 year because he was too cool to talk to me for the other 3. But
That's right.
I talked to him for 1 year. I find out he's probably like the biggest player at our high school. No cap.
Okay. Whoa.
I'd ask body count, but I don't want to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, we can go ahead. Why don't we start just like this?
Nah, but anyway, so our boy over here, he goes to Rutgers, and he's got some real hot takes on just college in general, and so I think let's get to the first point. If everyone's noticed lately, subtle Asian dating or subtle curry traits, things like that has been going around. I know my boy Hyunjik got some heated takes over there. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I feel like once everyone is home, okay. I'm going to be honest with everyone. I've been on Tinder, all right? I've been on Tinder. But you know what? The funny thing is when I was first on it, I'm actually hella picky, but I'm too picky. And so I don't get enough matches. And out of frustration, I was like, you know what? F this app. And I uninstalled it. I come back like 4 weeks later. Now this is like when Corona is starting. And just people just swiping right on me constantly. I'm like, yo, this is kind of a nice feeling. But you know what it is? It's all these people when they're home, they're just super lonely and bored. And so it's not that anyone has gotten any more attractive, which is the disappointing thing. It's just everyone's a little bit more lonely. And so you can see it on subtle Asian dating. You guys have been on it. Are you guys on it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
I don't believe that these people exist.
Yeah, what do you mean by that though? Do you mean like if someone says they're 5'10", do you mean they're 5'7", or
no.
do you mean they're fake pictures? Are these fake abs? What do you mean by that?
I think it's just okay. I think for most people, everyone has a couple of great qualities about them, but I don't believe that these people who have all of these amazing characteristics, they're funny, they're smart, they're charismatic, lovable, your parents love them, they don't siphon off your credit card money. These people who are also dimes who apparently just can't find a man, that just smells way too fishy to me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't sound right.
So, Hyunjik, are you trying to tell us that you're calling cap on literally every single post? Oh, not every post, but the really good ones. You're talking about the 5K likes plus kind of posts. Is that
maybe that these people do exist? Maybe they do, and the world has just dealt them a bad hand. But I'm gonna say that for most of them, they're not real, which is the sad reality. I wish they were, or maybe I'm just angry because I'm single and you guys are both dating. I don't know.
How about this? Would you say that the people who are posting those are people who are already taken, but they're just posting it to just feel good about themselves because they're lonely and they're not with their boyfriend or girlfriends? They just need some kind of validation.
You know what would be nice? All right, oh God, you guys shouldn't say this. You have a girlfriend or boyfriend, and then he just doesn't, or she doesn't treat you right? But you like them. But they don't treat you right. So you go on subtle Asian dating, you put yourself up there, you get 3.5K likes, right? And then you show your boyfriend or girlfriend hey, you see this? Look at all these people that want me. I could leave you at any time. You better treat me well.
Just backtracking for 1 second here, Jake. You said you said one of the good qualities was it doesn't siphon off credit card bills. Like, is this something
Yeah.
specific that happened to you or something?
Ooh. Oh, I don't. Can we edit this part out?
Yeah, all right.
I
We'll stop.
can't
Right,
say names because like, oh,
we'll
but
stop.
for personal, yes,
Mhm.
yes. As
All right.
friends, I will tell you, yes, it has happened before. Or you just like, okay, actually, leave this in. Leave this in. It's not that people take my money. It's that I'm an idiot. So like, whenever I date someone, I'm like, oh my god, they're like amazing, and now they're part of my life. So I just start buying them stuff that I should not be buying them. So and I like spend way over what I should. So it's actually on me for being a dumbass and spending money on people that I shouldn't be.
And what's the most expensive thing that you got, or what's the
What's
thing you also
the
what's the
Oh
most
my
expensive
god,
thing?
what's
Because
the most
what's
expensive
considered a
thing?
lot, especially what's considered a lot for a budget of a college kid, for like buying
Oh
something for
my
someone
god.
too?
Okay. I think everyone can spend however much they want when they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
I'm a finance student, so like I'm so frugal. I think I have exactly 6 pairs of underwear, so that like on like every Saturday I have to do laundry. Otherwise, I just have no clean underwear. And all of my underwear, they're all like sewn multiple times on the waistband because I refuse to buy more Calvin Klein underwear.
Wait a
That
second.
being said, the most extravagant thing I've probably spent on a person, maybe like $300 in one day. And that was a lot. Wow, $300 in one day for Christmas. That was a lot. And I should not have done that. That was my bad.
All right. So now, just real quick to reverse it on you, in the college standpoint, nobody's got money.
Sure.
I mean, unless you're like international rich or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the most a girl's ever spent on you?
Ooh, good question.
Oh.
Good question. What's the most a girl has spent on me?
Because it's all about equality these days. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. How much has a girl spent on me? I really don't expect a girl to like spend, like, I'm not like salty, right? I'm not doing the math in my head opening my presents like this is $3.95, this is like $12.35, with my gift receipts ready for the extra gifts that I have hiding. So I usually don't mind if she spends less than me, because back when I used to spend a lot more, that was like my way of communicating to people that like I appreciate them. I think I've gotten better so that I don't have to do that and I just express with emotion. Um, I think in one's like time, I think a girl has spent like maybe like $150 on me, maybe.
Big
That's a
bucks.
lot.
That's a lot.
That's
That's a
big
lot.
bucks.
That's 15 Chipotle burritos. You know what I'm saying?
That's Yeah, that's a lot. But
That's,
I'd never expect that type of thing now because college students, I feel like I'm more broke now than I was in high school because now I have actual things to worry about.
So would you say that like being in college, having to manage your own money as well as top it off with like say a relationship or like a significant other, has it made you grow emotionally to be able to
Ooh,
just be able to express yourself better to replace that old money factor that you used to do? Sounded like a little compensation there, but
it is a lot of compensation. And I'm going to say it. I think I have a friend, a roommate of mine. His name is Lewis. Shout out to Lewis. He is so into, like, he's one of those people that just like knows himself, like in his body very well. But he would just like call me out during college. He's like, why are you like compensating? Like, why are you doing that? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he would point out these like little things that like are just really unhealthy in terms of like discussion, like emotional expression. I don't know, maybe it's like the Asian in me, or like I don't know what it is. My dad's not the most expressive guy. um I think maybe a relationship has made me more emotionally in tune, but I haven't really dated around much in college. I would say it's more so my friends. I have a lot of very good friends who are emotionally in tune with themselves. and who give me like honest criticism when needed. And I actually started a blog, and that blog was like a very, very private one for me and my brother. I write on it maybe like once every like 2 weeks, just to express myself in like a written way. And then the interesting thing is he gets to read it and sees what I've been going through. And so, I mean, you guys have siblings. I'm sure like when I talk to my friends, I'm a lot more like lively, telling them like all these crazy stories. But by the time I get home, I'm tired, and I've told that story like 10, 15 times. And so when I talk to him, he gets like the dulled down version. He's like, "What'd you do today?" "Oh, I just went to school." When in reality, there's so much more. Um, so now he gets to see what's actually going on, and that's been very helpful to our relationship. And I've been more candid with my dad, and there's a lot of things that I should have addressed with him a long time ago that I didn't, and repressed and pushed down. But I got to handle those things on the way back up from Rutgers, on the long drives. So it's been pretty good for those reasons.
I think that's one of the underrated parts about college. It not only helps you grow as a person, but all
Right.
the relationships that you have formed prior. There's a lot of things in high school that you kind of just push to the side because you want to have fun, or you push to the side because it's like college stress, right? But as you're getting closer to this real world, you really start to think deep a little bit more and kind of confront what you couldn't confront earlier, especially since you don't see your parents every day. You don't see
That's
your brother
true.
or sister every day. But let's talk about Hyunjik at Rutgers real quick. Hyunjik, what's the experience like down there at Rutgers?
Sure. Man, I think you get a whole gamut of at Rutgers. You have like people at like who are like humongous nerds, like myself, and then you also have people who are like actual party animals, and so you get to run into both. So it depends. Like I know some people where their world is completely different from mine, and we live on 4 humongous campuses, so you could kind of like create your own friend group in a way. For example, like Jackie's son, right? A good friend of ours. She has an amazingly quirky and funny and intelligent friend group. They're awesome people, but they were able to. They're like such unique people, but they were still able to meet at Rutgers. And then my friend group is very unique and different too. We do a bunch of wild stuff. And then you have people with other interests, and I think it really depends on what you like and the type of people that you want to meet. The one caveat about Rutgers, though, I would say is that if you don't put yourself out there, or you don't have a lot of friends coming in because it's a state school, I really feel bad for the kids who are introverted, like myself, but don't have the luxury of knowing people before they come in. So I know kids that like spend a lot of time by themselves, unable to make like new friends because it's like sophomore year and everyone's falling into their cliques already. And so for those people, my like heart reaches out. Yeah, I wish it accommodated those types of people as well. And I am one of those people. I just got a little lucky when I came in. Yeah, but I think as long as you put yourself out there and you get to just do what you want, I think you will be able to find tons of people who are like-minded.
Tell me about those people that you say that aren't really getting accommodated. Like, is Rutgers doing anything, or are people doing anything to really make people who would come in who don't have as many friends early on? Are people doing anything to make them feel comfortable, or is it more of an environment where if everyone's already in their clique beforehand and nobody can because
Rutgers does a good job in the beginning with like these types of events where I think it's like for like a week and a half, all these freshmen do these crazy fun events. If you do not go out to those events, if you don't, I think it's like the prime window, first 2 to 3 weeks. If you don't make good friends then, or go to like a club that you're interested in or like a community and you just wall yourself in, I think at that point you're just kind of screwed. You know what I mean? Unless you have friends and like mutual friends, and that kind of stuff happens naturally as well. But I do know some people who weren't able to get comfortable right away, and after that it just made it more uncomfortable because there's no medium to do that. And so that initial wall was lowered. They didn't take that jump, and now it's even higher for them, and so it's even more uncomfortable. This one time in my sophomore year, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be more extroverted. And I took my lunch tray. It was like 4 p.m. Like many people weren't there, and I went up to this table with like this guy and girl. I can tell you their names. Their names were Gary, and I think it was Dan, Gary, and Cindy. Right. And I sit down and I'm trying to be friendly. I'm like, hey, like, my name's Ethan. Like, you guys want to be friends? Trying to make conversation when I could have picked any other table. And they're like, oh, yeah, sorry. I'm like studying for my chemistry 2 exam right now. And it's like, and then I'm just like, oh, God, what am I supposed to do? Get up and like leave? Like, okay, I'll see you later. I didn't do that. So I sat there and just like did not speak and just like made small talk to these 2 people who were clearly not interested in talking to me. And the worst part is that 3 years later, I still see them around. That girl lives in my building, and it's like the most uncomfortable elevator ride where we both step in, and I have to pretend that I don't know her, but she definitely knows who I am.
Oh my God!
I'm not gonna revisit that.
I'm not gonna lie, Hendrik. So I'm on the introverted side too, and I'm not gonna lie. I have a similar story like that at Hopkins.
Oh.
Like I think Hopkins has something similar where in the first like month, I would say the wall is lower. You know, you can sit down in the cafeteria and next to some rando, and it's not weird because it happens so much that nobody's gonna remember it. You know, everyone's sitting with randos all the time that it's just normal, and people forget people because randos are randos.
Right.
But one time, yeah, in October of freshman year, I think that's when it started to calm down.
Yeah, that window is gone. You do not approach people randomly in the dining hall.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 9. I was eating breakfast right before my 9 a.m. and I was thinking, yo, I gotta make some friends for breakfast. You know, I can't just sit here by myself. Now I'm completely I'm completely fine with eating breakfast on my own, even in the cafeteria, because I don't really care if I'm alone or lonely anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But
You've come to terms with it.
Yeah, I've come to terms. But there's this one guy who I sat down with also. He was eating breakfast. I was in that same mindset, like, hey, I want to be friends with you. I sit down and it's just the most awkward conversation. It's just like him. I'm trying to ask him some good question, and his response is all like one word, you know, like yes, no, maybe, okay. And that's when I stopped.
Too. That's the gamble. When you take your food and you choose who to sit down with, if it's one other person, you hope to God that they're like somewhat sociable. Because what if they're a weirdo and like then you have to sit down and you can't just get up and like, well, this has been nice, but you know what? This is not going to work out. You have to stay the whole duration. My God.
I know one person who actually sat down with 2 of my friends in around November, December, just randomly. And I think the craziest part was each of them didn't know if he knew one of them. And then after they left, they're like, wait, did you know this guy? And both were like, no, we didn't know him.
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like a lot of people, especially like more on the introverted side, they definitely sophomore year kind of go through this realization when like they're not with the same people as last year on like their say floor or roommate. They're kind of just like, oh shit, who do I have to talk to? You know.
Hyundrik, how did your friend group right now? How did you meet them? And were you friends since freshman year, or was it just something that more friends just came along as you started growing throughout college?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I should tell the story.
Always let it down, bro. Just let it out.
God.
Let it out. This is a safe space.
There was a kid in our high school. I think the nice way to say this, I was a quirky kid in high school, and no one like stopped me from becoming the freak that I am because we're all a bunch of nerds. So there was no social pressure to conform. And so we had a mutual friend named Rodney, really nice guy. I've met him in one occasion in high school. We knew of each other, and one day there was a bake sale, and he had a Twix bar, and then he opened it, and he saw me eyeing this Twix bar because I was on a diet. He was like, "Yo, Hendrik, do you want a bite?" I was like, "Yeah." But the thing is, I took a bite from both of the Twix bars,
bro,
instead of just taking one. because I thought it was hilarious, and then we just made no conversation. I walked away. That's our only memory. But he and I became friends in college because we lived near each other, and we had one friend named Chiwon who's like super outgoing. And so he basically met a bunch of people, and then we met them through him, and then we all became a friend group. And so I would say he was probably a big contributor to what we were in freshman year. So I would feel like I think you need at least one really extroverted friend. If you're an introvert, let them do all the work, or you find two people who are already friends, and then you befriend both of them, and then at that point you're a friend group. You know what I mean? And then you don't have to like try so hard anymore. I feel like you could just smell it. You know, when someone's trying to be your friend, I think that just like turns a lot of people off. It's not as natural as it should be.
That's a very interesting story, bro. I didn't.
Yeah.
Is this the Rodney from BCA, right?
Yes, this is the Rodney from BCA.
Wait a minute, Kendrick. Just let me get back to this real quick. You're telling me you took a Twix bar, you looked at it, you see the clear divide in the middle.
Yes.
You're just like, I'm a
Yes.
white boy. Bro, that's
Yes.
some psychopath behavior.
I'm the sick dude that like opens a Kit Kat bar and then eats it straight without breaking it. That's the type of person I am. But you know what? I don't do it for myself. You know, I'm a gentleman. I split it for myself. When someone else offers it to me, like the inner like evil person just like, you know what? This guy offered me his Kit Kat. I'm gonna mess this dude's day up. Just eat clean through the top row. But the same amount of chocolate as it would be if he just offered me one stick. So it's like this moral dilemma that he had to be upset or not.
That's okay. Oh my god, bro.
Oh my god, dude.
You're killing me, man. Like, oh my god.
Are you sure? Kendrick, are you sure you could be part of the executive board of your church?
Yeah, I was really hesitant to come onto this podcast because I go to a church that's like a great church at Rutgers, but like as I'm older now, I'm like kind of like a face there. So if I start telling you guys all these stories, all these churchgoers that are gonna be there, like, wow, that guy who's leading this church, that guy's a freak. Like, do not go to that church. Yes, welcome to my world, my inner psyche.
Oh my god! If I knew the leader of my church ate a Kit Kat bar.
Yeah, bro. I don't know if I go to that church no more. So, Kendrick, let me ask you, bro. Like, there's a couple, like psychotic things, I guess, that you see the memes, like, where like how normal people do things versus like how psychopaths do things. Have you seen those? Would you say
Yes.
you identify?
Yes,
as like.
Oh God. You know what? I'm not a psychopath. I have feelings. I don't skin animals, but I do things that make people really suspicious. For example, right? But to me, it's like really normal at the time. I love reading in the morning, but when I read, when you cheat on an exam and you write an answer on your body, but then when the exam comes, you don't really have to like look at your arm because it was so distinctly written. You know what I mean? Like if I put it on my like left shoulder, I'm going to remember that like the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
That's true, yeah.
So
That's true,
I do that. But like for my room, so when I read a book, I'm like, oh, this is a great quote, right? I write it down on a Post-it and I put it on my wall, right? But I forget that like if I read and then I let this happen for like many months, that my room looks insane because there's just a bunch of writing scribbled on my wall with Post-its and like arrows drawn to each other. And so sometimes when people come into my room and they come in and then they close the door and they turn around and they see this huge wall of just like writing that's like connected to each other. And then they look at me and it's just the two of us in my room. They're just like, oh God, I need to leave.
That sounds like some serial killer shit, bro.
So stuff like that does happen to me. I think it's just like an underdevelopment of like social skills and social cues rather than like a sinister type of thing.
Kendrick, are you just silent after they just look at you?
Yeah, what's the interaction?
I feel like part of you just wants them to be creeped out, and you just purposely just stop talking.
Yes, and then explain to them, like I could explain. It's for my books, so I could remember quotes better. So I put it on my. I think by that point they just leave.
Oh man.
But now I don't do that anymore because I have a journal now. I have a journal like a normal
Okay.
person.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But does it help? Does it help? Do you remember it, the quotes better, or remember it better because from the journal or the post-its though?
You know what? It's the post-its actually a lot better, to be honest. Especially if you color them based on books. You know what I mean? So that you could look at a wall and see, oh, this thought connects to this. It's like a visual representation of your brain, and it's like a really nice thing to have. But I can't do that anymore. So maybe in my private room I'll do it, or I don't know where. But I try my best not to do stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's mad. That's mad funny, dude.
I have a friend, a mutual friend, Jackie, right? Jackie's son. And she knows this, right? Because we talk about this now. But she once thought that I was an actual psychopath. Like she thought I was like lacked human emotions. And I asked her one day, because it was bugging me. And I was like, why do you think I have no emotions? Like I clearly am the softest, most sentimental, normal human being. And she's just like, it's because you were friends with someone that I thought was definitively a psychopath because I knew them and you got along so well with them. I was like, he must be on the same wavelength. And I was like, this person's not a psychopath. And then I thought about it. I was like, wait a second. This person may have been a psychopath. I would say the name, but I can't because like too many people would know. But yes, I will say a person has once truly thought that I was. So
I'm not
I
gonna
don't hold
lie.
it against
I
anyone.
I think there are two people that comes to mind.
There's
There's
two
two people.
people.
There's two
Two
people,
people.
and I think it's definitely got to be one of them. And I will message you after this podcast to
Damn,
see
God,
who it is.
don't make it too obvious. He'll come for me.
Oh yeah, you're right.
damn, bro. I'm so lost. I don't even know what's going on. But all right, dude. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I thought in high school you were just like a really chill dude, bro. Like
Oh.
I did not get no psychopathic tendencies from you, dog.
Oh gosh, maybe I shouldn't tell these stories, but I'll tell them anyway. There was once, okay, I didn't go to J prom. And the reason is that there was a girl that I thought was attractive. Um, Great girl, smart. I don't know why everyone else was bashing on her, to be honest. I thought she was a great girl. And I wanted to ask her to J prom. And so, like, you know how J prom works. Like, no one really just blindly asks people. You kind of tell their friends, and their friends confirm, and then you're like, okay, now I'm gonna do it. And so basically, that happened. And so she was like down. But the thing is, my boy was also down, right? He was just like, oh, I was gonna ask her too. And I didn't want to like that gets really weird, you know. If two guys who are friends like want to ask the same girl, I'm not gonna have like some contest and be like, oh, you thought about it first, so therefore you have the right to ask her, or like I'm a better person, or like a better, you know. I just think that's just like silly, you know. So I wanted to make it not personal at all for that reason, because I didn't want it to like, you know, there to be drama. So I was like, you know what? Let's leave this up to chance. And so why don't we just flip a coin on it, and whoever wins gets to like ask this person ask this person first, right? And we did, and then like he won, and so that was totally fine. And I was like, you know, merry and just going about my day. And then she found out about. I don't know how she found out about it, right? Because I have no friends, so I don't know who told him. I mean, who he told, but like she found out. Oh my God, that was so uncomfortable. I look like such a jerk, like some misogynistic like person, like flipping coins over like who gets asked like what girl. It was such an uncomfortable conversation. I was like, oh, that's not what happened. But and then she was like, oh, I actually would prefer to go with you. And this was high school, right? And so like now I'd be like, you idiot, like just ask her what she wants. But like I didn't think about that back then. And so I couldn't just be like, hey, my friend, like I know we agreed on you winning, but like I should ask her because she's cool with me. So I was like, oh, I'm sorry, like my hands are off. So you have like at this point she like went with him, and then I was just home because I didn't care. Like she was so upset, like she like cried and like did not have a good time at prom, and I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I feel like I should have like at least like maybe gone with her, like done something, but like oh my god, that was such a mess. But things like that, people will say psychopath, but I swear it was for just like non-personal reasons.
I think this is just you growing to learn to ask what girls want.
That's true. That's very important. That's very, very important.
I think it just comes from life, you know, growing up.
Yeah. Now, Nick, it's your turn to roast me about me being an idiot.
Nah, bro. You know what? I was actually about to say, yo, I think you dropped this crown, you king, bro. Like you didn't let nothing. No simp moment in there.
Kendrick, your camera is
Tilted. Oh, I know. I still have to charge my phone. Here, I'll talk. I'll lay down so you can. So I'll be.
yeah. That works.
There we go.
Kendrick, you seem to be very. You seem to have a very unique view on things. Let me ask you a question, bro. Have you seen the crazy versus hotness scale from I think How I Met Your Mother?
Yes, I have seen the crazy version. I please like fill me in on this. I don't remember it exactly, but how does it go?
So I think it's like if you like a girl can only be so hot as much as she is crazy, and then like
okay,
the idea is you want 10 hot, 0 crazy, right? But I think I didn't get this directly from How I Met Your Mother, but I got it from like this YouTube video, and there was the guy was like, yo, so first off, there's no girl below 3 crazy. That just doesn't exist. You're dating an alien at that point.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So what would be your ideal mix? Or do you even have a mix? Like 1 to 10 on each?
Sure. I don't believe that like, all right, I don't know how to say this correctly. I don't think that whoever I date has to be or marry has to be like the prettiest person in the world. I really don't believe so. So I think everyone has like a subjective like view on like beauty. So as long as I find them like somewhat physically attractive, I feel like that's just like a check mark. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I really care about it. It's just like, do you check this mark like thing, or like are you like a good human being like thing? You know what I mean? So as long as I find them like subjectively like somewhat attractive, and I think most people are, I think that the more important thing is like how good of a like their personality. So I would say for me, if it was 0 crazy, wait, I think I could do like 2 crazy because I feel like every person is like somewhat. Like, I've done crazy, yeah, just some crazy things in my life. And hot, I guess subjectively like a 5.0001, like just enough for me to be like, oh yeah, I find this person attractive. But like, I'm not gonna be sitting in my room and it's like, oh wow, like she's like a philanthropist and like all this, but like she's a 6. Like, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that I'd be worrying too much about.
So if there, let's say, in this theoretical world, you could choose one quality your girlfriend must have, right? What would that one quality, like definitive, have to be?
Ooh,
you're going into the deep stuff.
I'm gonna ask you next, Tony. Get your answer ready.
I'm not the guest, man. You don't need to ask me.
He has the easy job. He sits here and watch me ruin my reputation.
Oh man.
One quality, I would say someone who is empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
I think someone who's empathetic. I think I don't ever want to date someone who's like me, because I feel like that'd be an injustice to my kid to deal with 2 of me. So I would like someone who's like the opposite of me. So someone who's like really, really empathetic, who has like a stronger mastery of their like emotions, who could help like walk me through that when I like don't understand something that's like should be logical, but this doesn't like line up with my feelings. I think that's really important in a relationship. But that's like one of like many, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I totally, I think I'm totally agreeing with you there. Where I'd prefer for them to be quite opposite of
Yeah,
myself. You know, because then what like if I'm dating myself, what am I bringing to the table that they don't already have?
exactly. Hey,
Right?
I date myself constantly. I don't need another like dirty copy of me.
Yeah, no, that's totally right, bro. Like, I think it'd be similar for me, but you know, I guess the real question here is, Tony, what's good over there, bro? I see you desperately
Dude.
quiet over there, trying to avoid the question.
Your
Dude,
girlfriend is
just let-
listening.
yeah, of course. Yeah, dude. Let me just think, man. Let me just think. I mean, I guess the answer is similar to Hyunjik too, but definitely someone who's not exactly like me. Usually, I mean, one of the things I care about is just being able to talk about just because emotionally I'm not the best person too. So if there's a situation that I'm really uncertain about, I would need someone to just reason
Yes, it's
an emotional situation out with me and just
yeah.
tell me that I'm not whack for thinking a certain way, you know?
Yes. Sometimes it just doesn't line up, like
Yeah.
emotions and rationality.
Yeah.
Having that person there who understands it, it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
nice.
I have this, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I would see people's actions and then I'd think, is this messed up or not, you know? I think that's the biggest thing that comes from me that I need, at least like with my girlfriend. Like if someone does something really messed up, but I'm not sure if it's messed up, I need to like validate it with her saying like, yo, I think this might be messed up. Can you just validate this with me? I think that's my thing because that's the thing. Like like high school me, I've done so much messed up stuff. And you guys know, like I've done so much messed up stuff in high school. I feel weird judging people for their actions sometimes in
It's true.
college, but then so I need someone to at least validate with me. So someone I guess more judgmental, honestly, because honestly I'm not someone who judges people as much. I don't have the strict standards as much. Someone who's
Interesting.
able to stand their ground at least.
So what you're saying is you're a pushover?
Nah, bro, I'm not a
That's all I'm
pushover,
hearing,
man.
bro.
No, I am
That is
not a
what you
pushover.
got from that
I think
statement.
as I've grown in college, I've become less and less of a pushover. I'll say that, and that's
Tony,
because
Good
of
for
the
you,
people I'm
Tony.
friends with.
I'm so all right, Tony. Let me put you in a hypothetical situation here. You're in the cafeteria, right? You and another guy. I like the last piece of steak, right? That they're serving out that night, right? Y'all both walk up at the same time. Are you grabbing or are you asking?
Dude, no, I'm not asking. I don't know this person.
Oh, okay. So you do get better. That's
Why would I ask someone if I don't know them?
Dude.
If it's one of my boys, I'll be like, okay,
Then you
I'll
go
ask.
halvesies.
Yeah, you
Halvesies. Okay, yeah,
have
You
these.
go
halvesies.
halvesies.
But if it's someone I don't know, I'm not gonna think about it.
Dude, for some reason I remember you one time in like when we were in high school together in the cafeteria. You like gave somebody like the last chicken sandwich or some shit because like you were just like you were like I swear I was like we were in line together and we both and you wanted it and then I think the guy in front of you wanted it and you kind of like both walked up to it at the same time and you were like, oh, you know what, it's okay, you can have it. So it is nice.
I know what you're talking about. I know, cause in BCA
You
in
know
high
what you're
school,
talking
I
about?
know what you're talking
That
about.
was
Because
your highlight?
in high school, the chicken was like the sandwich that everybody wanted. Like when you make your own sandwich, the chicken was so good. Like you always wanted it. So I remember there was the last chicken, and yeah, no, I mean I can sell a turkey. But also, yeah, I was a pushover in high school. Thank you. I know that. I know that.
Oh,
Okay. Going off this chicken sandwich, I like to ask everybody this. Yajik, what do you think is better, the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich or the Popeyes chicken sandwich?
you
He
know
asks this
what?
question every podcast.
You
And
know
I will
what?
keep asking it.
I think, all right, I think Chick-fil-A fries, I think they're no good. I don't like the way they feel in my mouth. I think mouth feels really important. I think
Preach.
they're whack.
Preach.
Do I think Popeyes is better or Chick-fil-A? I don't. Okay, I'm gonna say for the price, right? Price to satisfaction, Popeyes is better.
Thank
But
you. Yes,
just in terms
sir.
of satisfaction, I think Chick-fil-A is better.
Wow, cop out answer.
I feel like Chick-fil-A. I feel like Chick-fil-A. You kind of feel healthier for some reason. I don't know why.
I think it's the advertisement, the cow. I think when I eat that chicken and I see that cow, it just makes me a little happier. It feels like it's like, you know, when you buy Toms and you're like, you buy a pair and they give a pair to like some Ethiopian kid. It's like that. It's like, I'm eating this chicken and you know what, Greg the cow, I saved your life today, and so I feel a little bit better about my purchase. You know what I mean? Also, go ahead, Nick, before I go on.
I was gonna say I completely get what you were saying, but when you were saying satisfaction, I was about to say like, yo, I'm pretty sure Popeyes must fry their bread in like some kind of grease, bro, because their bread is crazy.
That's true, but someone got stabbed over it. I don't think anyone should be stabbed over a chicken sandwich. I don't know.
True. That's true. That's just depressing. But anyway,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. So I had this like revelation, this genius revelation. As we know, cows are responsible for a large percentage of the methane in our ozone layer, which is unhealthy, right? But why? Because of like they fart a lot and it's like release sulfur and methane, right? Why don't we just like capture all of this methane and then sell it as well? So maybe it's getting too late in the day. So I have a farm, right? And I just like strap on like this like thing to all my cows. It just captures all of their methane. They all have little backpacks that like store them. So at the end of the day, I'm like saving the ozone. I get to light my own gas. I get like a lower electricity bill and gas bill. You know, I feel like it's a win-win.
Bro,
Okay.
you're proposing like trash bags on their butthole and like capturing the gas that comes out.
Hey man, the ozone is really sensitive these days. I do what I can.
Are you sure you're not a psychopath?
I bring my own cup to Starbucks. I'll have you know. I bring a canvas bag to Whole Foods and I make everyone else feel bad who don't have it. I give them a dirty look on the way out. That's the type of person I am.
Are you the type of person that goes into Whole Foods and buys cucumber water?
You know what? I am. And then if anyone else tries to buy cucumber, no, I'm the type of guy who like waits by the cucumber water. And when they start getting them, I'm like, you know how much like water it wastes in comparison? You're not saving the environment. You know how much water that wastes in comparison to like oat milk? How dare you? How dare you squeeze cucumbers in like goat cheese filter bags and just like drink that? Just go eat a regular cucumber. You're bottling it. That's what I would do. That's type
That's
of
it. That's I'm gonna have to go with Tony here. Yo, are you sure you're not a psychopath, bro? Like, you know what? This sounds like a perfect BuzzFeed video. You know, where you would go and like question people's like environmental morality at a Whole Foods.
Oh my god!
You know?
I want to see a BuzzFeed video of Hyundai going up to cow farmers,
really selling this idea to them. See, we have oil in the ground, but we also have gases above the ground that you could capture on your farm. I don't know, man. It seems like a great idea.
Oh, God.
So wait. Let's just think about it for 1 second. Would you want like a farm to like dome itself up, or would you want like each individual?
Yeah,
cow?
I would want a dome.
Oh, you'd want a dome. Okay, that makes more sense.
I'd want a dome.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to do it, I'd do a dome, but that'd be kind of expensive. So maybe when Elon is launching like his like Mars society, and he's probably gonna make domes there first, and then like make an atmosphere. Maybe we could convince him to send cows first, farm the cows, like in the methane release, and then use that as fuel for the ride back.
Ooh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
But you know, like building the dome itself, I feel like it's like solar panels. You just don't really want to do it. But after a while, you'd get you get a good return on your dome that collects methane. I hope the listeners know that this is like all a joke.
Dude, imagine 50 years from now, someone listening to this like actually does this and like domes up their farm. That'd be so funny.
This is the type of podcast that gets me in trouble like 30 years from now when I'm trying to become president. This is what this is.
This is 100% it, bro. Like, if Tony
Yeah.
ever runs for office, everyone's gonna, like, the campaign ads against him are gonna be like, "Yo, this is the biggest simp in the world," or something like. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I want to come back to the cucumber thing. I want to revisit this terrible idea. I know people like this in like real life, and it's very frustrating to me because these people, these people that care about the environment, like, don't get me wrong, I care about the environment, I do my part, I recycle, like plastics, but like some people like make it like their life purpose to educate me on like everything, and they're like, I try to be like health conscious and drink almond milk because I'm lactose, and then like this person who's in my home is like, are you drinking almond milk right now? Like, do you know how much extra like water goes into almond milk in comparison to milk? Like, you're not helping at all. I'm just like, let me enjoy my breakfast, dude. Like, relax. Like, leave me alone. Like, oh my God. Like, and she's like, is your clothes like fully what is it called? Like renewable, when you could recyclable? She's like, it's like, what do you wear? Like recyclable clothes and like linen underwear that you just like wash every day? Like, what type of person are you? Like, you're like, I could just sit here and be like, you're wearing these jeans from Abercrombie. Well, I mean, like, children in like Vietnam like have to like work hard for, like, I don't do that to you. I let you wear your jeans, like, and you let me drink my almond milk, and and just let me live my life. I appreciate it, but my God, sometimes I just want a straw. All right, my rant is over.
Bro, you know what though? Like, I'm not even sure that's a rant, because I think a lot of people have very similar views, especially in college, where like protesters are like literally pushing down things to your throat. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I don't think it's like specifically for like the environment. I don't love the environment. Plant more trees and like bushes. Support wildlife. But I think when anyone is given like a reasonable cause to like stand behind something, like, and then could like use it as like a platform to like make other people feel bad and push their agenda. I don't know. I'm not about it. Not about it.
You seen the vegan protests? Like, they
No,
like,
what's the vegan protest?
yo, okay, well, at Berkeley, right? I think this was about a year ago. I saw these guys, like, they basically made human cages, and they put like
Oh
a
my
giant
God.
cage on campus, like middle of campus, and they had somebody like stripped down and like put fake blood on them, and was like this, and like outside they were like, "This is what you're doing to animals," and I was just like, "Bro, don't force your beliefs down my throat, dog." Like, bro, their whole protest, I kid you not, bro. I just do this. I put my hand over my eyes. I just go like this. I look down a little bit, and then it's useless to me. Like, it's useless. You got the earbuds in, useless to me, right? But like,
it is creative. It is creative.
it is
I'll give
creative.
them that.
Yeah, but like, dude, it's just like, dude, I don't need this. Like, I don't need you to like force your beliefs down my throat, right? Like, obviously, we'd all love to be more health conscious, and not just that, but like save the environment, of course. But like, not everyone can transition to this vegan lifestyle, right? It's not for everybody.
I got a question for you guys. So you guys are talking about how people might, revisit this video 30 years later and think we're messed up people. What do you think? Do you think people, like, when we're talking about, eating meat and vegan, like how being vegans kind of, not our style right now? You think people 30 years from now who are eating,
They're all vegan.
they're all vegan, they're all eating.
And they look back at us.
Yeah, they look back at us and they're
sick people.
Dude, that might happen. If everyone's eating Impossible burgers, right? Those are the burgers that are created like artificially, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people are gonna be eating Impossible burgers on the regular 30 years from now, and they're gonna look at us and think, you guys had the option to eat Impossible burgers. Why didn't you eat it, you sick, terrible person?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Though. Impossible burgers are still meat.
No. It's not.
Oh, is it plant-based? I thought it was like stem cell.
It's plant-based.
Oh,
no,
it's
plant-based.
I think it's plant-based. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's still meat. That'd be so controversial. You just take some embryonic stem cells and make a burger. Hey, we're saving cows. I know that's a thing, and it's possible, but like, you know what, Tony? I don't really mind. Like, to be honest, like, the only reason I don't eat Impossible burgers right now is because they tend to be a little bit more expensive. than the average burger. But once it's like equal in price, hey, I think that everyone should eat less red meat because for like cholesterol levels.
Yeah.
I think that we should like give more meat and like food and be more conscious of it because we could produce enough food for like tons and tons of extra people, but we choose not to. Um, and I think that's something we should go towards. I'm not advocating for us to like make fun of vegans, although it's very easy. And like insult their lifestyle. Hey, I think it's a very like admirable thing to do. What I'm saying is that when anyone has any social agenda and then says it in a way that like doesn't want to make me want to listen, like you know what I mean? Like once you like slaughter a baby calf in front of me and then like slap it on like a piece of bread and like and they scream at me while I'm trying to go to my business class, like this is what you're doing. You know what? Like I don't want to listen to you anymore. And you know what? Like I'm not going to tell my friends about this and tell them like something else. I don't know. That's my take. I think we should be more health conscious. It's just like don't assume that I don't know like what these like like plastics are doing in our ocean. I like watch National Geographic as much as the next guy, but like when you have to shove it down my throat, I don't know. I just something about that just doesn't feel right.
That's
That
that's bad facts.
that's
I think it's
just mad fact. Yeah.
I think it's to reiterate. I think it's just the respect, for the people
Yeah, just
who
say
are
it
listening.
nicely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if you respect them enough for them to know, be already like you kind of your assumption is that they already know. I think that's the thing. If you respect
Yes.
that you think they already know, then I think it'll come out better than if your
Right.
initial hypothesis is that they don't actually know what's going on.
Right. It's like those, Christians are usually get a good rap, right? But then those Christians that ruin it for everyone else with those picket fences, like saying like you're going to hell and like they hate gays. Like that's what you're doing for veganism. You're being those like picket fence people. Like just like just relax, everyone. Just like there's a lot of good things about being vegan, about being Christian, and like what have you, what beliefs you have. Just like you don't need to be so like in my face about it. I'll listen. I'll drink your kombucha. Everyone relax.
You know
Yeah.
what though? Kombucha slaps. I
It does.
kombucha does slap. I give it that. I give it that. Yeah. But back to your point about being more health conscious. Hyojik, you're one of like the most health conscious people I actually know. I remember in high
This
school
is
hearing you track your macros and micros.
true.
So if you were given control of the U.S., how would you fix it? Like, let's say you were
Oh
president.
man. Okay. This is like the wrong type of question to ask me because I am a very like pragmatic person when it comes to food. Don't get me wrong. I love eating my Chick-fil-A and then thinking about my Popeye sandwich to see which one's better. But most of the time I eat pretty healthy. Um, if I could, personally, I would just drink Soylent all the time. And then when I really want food, I would just get up and eat. But I can't do that for obvious reasons. If I could choose what to do with the US, I would ban. I can't even do that. I was gonna say I would ban all fast food. I think I would ban. I would make you would have a card that limits the amount of fast food that you could get in a given week. But even that's difficult because like fast food is like it's shown that like obesity and stuff impacts like different income levels because some people can't afford like higher priced and tiered food. I feel like there just needs to be a limit for people who just like want such excessive things. I think things like foie gras and like caviar, like come on, like I'm not gonna pay $100 for some fish roe in a tin can. And I've had foie gras. I think it's overrated. It tastes like butter, and like the methods that were used to make this, it just like doesn't make me feel good when I eat it. It's like I'm literally eating like a part of what used to be a liver inside of a duck that was like just like physically abused its life. You know what I mean? I just don't think it's worth those types of things. I think those foods in excess, I get it. It's a luxury, and I think everyone should have the right to that luxury. But if I could somehow magically make people not want it anymore, and we could allocate those resources to like taking care of other nations or our health, I think that'd be great.
So there's like, I think a lot of grade school kids nowadays, including my brother, he says that he thinks gym class is pretty worthless.
Yes.
Right? I'm not gonna lie, Miss Fuentes did me no favors, but like, you know
I
what I'm
hope
saying?
she hears this.
Miss Fuentes, I love you. We had a great time in your class. But anyway or another, do you think that like you would, if you could, like revamp gym class to be like a substantial part of the day and not just when like BCA kids would go off and sneak to study for tests?
I think gym class sucks. I think gym class sucks because you have like sometimes you get screwed and you have it in the middle of the day before like your like physics class, and then so you go in. No one wants to. I don't know. I really don't enjoy sweating and then putting on my old clothes. Maybe that's just me. I feel like it's a normal human thing. Like you don't want to like work out. Let's say people have like gym clothes. No one like goes to gym, works out. It's like, oh, gotta put on my regular clothes now, and then you button back up. That's whack. So I think what people should do is have gym at the end of the day, or just like strongly recommend that people join a club or that's like physical activity related and just change the culture of it, or allow people to shower. If you can shower, that'd be amazing. Showering in the middle of the school day.
Oh yeah.
But I can see
No.
how that leads to a lot of problems with those showers. Yeah.
That's not good. All right. It's been at least an hour and 15 minutes, so I think we got to end this soon.
Yes,
But
please cut
yes.
the parts that that make me look like a terrible person.
Hey man, we just gotta let it flow. It keeps the flow up, you know. I can't make any promises, but so we're gonna end this podcast. We usually end our podcast, at least me and Nick. We usually end our podcast with a quote of the day. Since it's the end of the night now, I think now you probably had a lot of quotes in your head. So if you can end the podcast with a quote of your day, Hyunjin, what would that quote be? And then we'll end the podcast.
Yes. My favorite quote is from William James. He's the American philosopher. That's like an understatement for what he is. But he said, "My first act of free will be the choice of free will," which is an interesting thing because he believes in like a lot of philosophers believe in like external forces that influence how you behave, like determinism, and like even things like genes, right? But the interesting thing about him was that like he wasn't really successful until he was like in his late 30s, like, and his brother and his dad were super successful, and then he once decided like, hey, like now it's time for me to like be a better person, do something with his life. And so he did, and he worked really hard for a couple years, and then he won the Nobel Prize, became like the guy, like the person who started the father of American philosophy. And seeing that type of thing, I think that's something I try to hold for myself, that like I have free will in this weird, funky world. And if I do have free will, then what does this podcast make me? I'm not a victim.
You freely spoke about your psychopathic tendencies here, bro.
Free will to be a bad person at certain times of your life. And that is the end of the podcast, guys. Thank you guys for listening
Thank
to
you.
the
Thank you for
College
having me.
Bubble.